Good afternoon, faculty, my fellow Cardigan brothers. Like Jack said, I'm here today to tell you a story, one of pain and loss, but also one of triumph and resilience. The story begins on September 10th, 2015, when I arrived at Cardigan, a nervous yet very excited 8th grade boy with dreams about what I could do, how Cardigan could help me achieve them. I started the year, same as most of you have, with fun games during orientation, learning the rules during all school meetings, stressing about homework, and making sure I was on time to all the various activities that we all have to attend each week. However, a week or so into the year, I noticed these bumps beginning to form on my hands, my legs, and my torso. At the time, I didn't think much of it, other than the fact that they were itchy and annoying. As time went on, the bumps became red and angry and started to sting, so I made my way down to the health center to see what the problem was. Mrs. Gray was there and decided that we should go to the Minute Clinic right down the road. At the Minute Clinic, the doctor was a little baffled as to how to explain how a 14-year-old boy with no prior skin issues suddenly had this increasingly violent rash on his body. He ended up diagnosing me with atopic dermatitis, which is like a rash. He gave me a cream to put on it, and Mrs. Gray and I returned to campus confident that the problem we had now had a solution. When we arrived back on campus, I went into the health center once again and applied the ointment onto the rash. The rash started to itch less and less and became less painful as the day went on, so I thought that whatever I was given had helped. However, to my dismay, I woke up the next morning with the rash worse than the day before. Instead of angry, red bumps, there were these yellowish blisters that were beginning to form and started to leak all over my body, and this became extraordinarily painful. I didn't know what to do. I rushed to the health center, and for the next hour or two, Mrs. Gray and I tried just about everything possible to alleviate my pain. Unfortunately, nothing seemed to work. At that point, Mrs. Gray decided that the safest thing for myself and the community was to coat my hands in Vaseline and to have me wear these hideous white cotton gloves everywhere I went. Now you have to remember, this was about 2 or 3 weeks into the school year. I thought that I knew a lot of students, but in reality, I didn't. I had my close group of friends and the people whom I said hi to in passing. This was difficult. I went from one of the kids that people liked and respected to the weird kid with these gross gloves. This took a lot from me mentally. I stayed in my dorm and didn't talk or hang out with the kids or even really want to participate in class. Faculty and students alike can attest that I became angry and snappy at everyone, even the people closest to me. Despite my situation, I knew deep down that this was not the Cardigan way. I woke one morning sometime later, feeling like my body was on fire. I was once again covered in these yellow, green, and orange blisters. However, this time they were the size of golf balls and filled with an acid-like pus that burnt away flesh, muscle, and nerves completely off my body. Now, I can't put the pain I felt into words, but the closest thing that I can describe is when you put your hand on a hot oven or open flame and you want to just rip it away right away. But imagine leaving that hand or your whole body on that hot oven or flame for 3 months without taking it off. That morning, I was rushed to the hospital and put in this quarantine zone. You had to walk through a maze to get to the room itself, and for the first week or so, the only people who were allowed to enter my room had to be wearing hazmat suits. To get into the room, you had to scrub yourself down, put on the suit, walk through the first door into an airtight chamber. Then only after the room was sealed were you allowed access into the next room, which was mine. Once you entered, you saw me, what was left of me at least. I was hooked up to several IVs, being fed painkillers and antibiotics and every medicine you could think of nonstop. At this point, my mentality took a serious hit. My body was 5 times its size and leaking this gross yellow-green fluid. I didn't think I was human anymore. How could I? I didn't think that I would ever be the same. I didn't know if I would play the sports I loved again. I didn't know if I would see the people I loved again. I didn't know if I was going to be able to walk again because all the muscle on my body was gone. All I remember are 100 doctors coming to see me every day, the same view from my bed every day, the same IVs every day, everything the same. My mentality at this point was in its lowest. I was on the brink of total mental destruction when my mother, my father, grandmother, grandfather, and my brother, who were the only beacons of light for me in this tough time, came to me with my school computer, of all things. They opened up my email for me because of my disease. I was unable to use my hands for 3 months for anything, which is why I needed help. I did not know what to expect. Why would they be showing me my school email? However, when I saw my inbox, it read new messages from Jack Roberts, Matt Pecora, Tyler Conklin, Dr. Houston, and Mr. Gray, to name just a few. All of them sending me emails, checking in to see how I was doing, making sure I was okay. At this point, it was 2.5 months later, and I thought that I was a forgotten person, a shadow of a memory at Cardigan. However, what I would soon realize is that no one, and I mean no one, isn't an important member of the Cardigan community. This is what makes Cardigan different from everywhere else. They take pride in their family and their community, like no place I have known or most likely ever will. The people who sent me the emails will never know, but those short emails that took probably 5 minutes or less to type reached my heart more than anyone here could possibly imagine. This is what kickstarted my recovery and what made me able to have the courage to come back to school almost 3 months later. There's no way I would have been able to continue without their support. There's no other way to say it than Cardigan and its pride and community and the people who make it up saved my life last fall. Thank you.